It's not often, I would actually say it's rare that I'm not upset after a Saints loss, but today is one of those exceptions. Like after seeing the Saints Giants in person last week and how ugly that game was, my expectations were low, but even still, it started to be a little upsetting as the game progressed. It almost kind of seemed like there wasn't a lot of life left in the Saints yesterday, especially in the first half. And we'll get into that. But the way it finished and some of the standout performances yesterday, it's hard to be upset. It almost makes me look forward to what the future is. You're talking about future, Fuaga and Brazil. I mean, we a couple of high draft picks for the Saints. We hit big on both of those guys. They're both balling. They're doing everything that you would hope that they would do. Any of your offensive linemen that don't give up any pressures week after week is fantastic in Fuaga. And then Brazil getting after the quarterback, having that interior push. It's as good as you could have expected. I mean, we weren't drafting Warren Sapp, but Brazil, he seems like he's the real deal. You got, unfortunately, AK went down with an injury, but before that happened, that catch for the touchdown is just... He's just such a remarkable player. I mean, anybody that debates whether or not he's the best running back in the history of the Saints, I don't know. If I'm a defensive coordinator and I could face any running back the Saints have ever had, AK is the last person I would want to see in the backfield against me. But even with him going down with an injury, Kendre, he continues to look good. He's got a lot of fire. He's got good burst. And he's got similar qualities to a lot of the things that AK is good at. So you bring in one for the other. You get a pair of fresh legs in there. It almost seems like a little bit of an temporary uptick. He seems hungry. He seems destined to prove. DA didn't know what he was doing as far as the injuries were concerned with him. So looking forward to seeing him play a little bit more the rest of the season. Really hoping that AK gets his 1,000 yards. I mean, that's the one thing that's kind of eluded him in his career is having that 1,000-yard rushing season. He's done everything that you could ask a running back to do with the exception of that. So hoping he gets his 1,000 yards this year. And he's close. The Haener versus Rattler thing. Look, I'm not completely sold on Rattler, but I'm certainly not sold on Jake Haener. I mean, they gave him a week to prepare. He got those first team reps. He got to start a game for the first time in his career. And again, it's tough to judge a guy based on one game. But it seems like the team rallies around Rattler more than it does around Haener. And it's kind of similar to Darren Rizzi and DA. Nobody's saying that DA doesn't know football or doesn't have at least defensively doesn't have a good plan. But if the team doesn't match that energy that you need, it's just not going to work. And it seemed like in the first half, Haener wasn't getting the energy out of the team. I mean, let's be honest. The guy drops back way too far. He basically goes right into the line of fire from the defense. And the defense, I'm sure, appreciates that. They could just go right around the tackles and meet Haener in the middle. At least Rattler kind of has a little bit more pocket awareness. Well, a lot more pocket awareness than what it seemed Haener did in the first half yesterday. As far as the Saints the rest of the season, what's wild is the Saints are 3 games out of first in the NFC South. And look, I'm not saying that, we're going to win the division. I think that ship has sailed. But they're three games away from first place. They're also 3 games out of the first overall pick. I mean, they've got 5 wins. I think it's the Giants have the number 1 pick right now with 2 wins. So they're 3 games out of each. They're kind of like sitting right in the middle there. The good news is they're in that kind of purgatory, but not as far as like the draft. Like the last thing I want to see is the Saints get close to winning the division and come within a game or so and then just not make the playoffs, and all of a sudden you're picking at 19 or something like that. Top 10 pick, I'm good with it. 3 games to go. I really, to me, the most important thing is let's see what some of these kids got. Let's analyze the quarterbacks a little bit more. I don't care if Rattler gets 3 starts. I don't care if they split it up. I just want to know exactly what we've got so that when we go into the draft, we kind of know our best course of action. A lot of people talking about the 2-point conversion. Everybody seems in agreement that they should have gone for it. I, too, think that they should have gone for it because you know what? Why not? At this point in the season, you know, you're playing with house money. You've got nothing to lose, so just go for it. The play call was a little rough. It was a catchable ball. It was definitely a catchable ball. Hit him in the hand, so you should be able to reel that in, but you could have given yourself more options as far as, you know, spreading things out a little bit more and having more reads to go through that I don't know. I just wasn't impressed with the call. It seemed like there was only one option, and it was threading the needle. Rattler did get the ball where it needed to be. Unfortunately, it just wasn't brought in, and that was looked like about 120 mile an hour fastball coming at Johnson. But another thing I wanted to mention, D-line absolutely ate yesterday. It was so good seeing Cam get a couple sacks. He seemed happy with it. Obviously, we're happy with it. He continues to extend his club lead on all-time sacks, and couldn't happen to a better guy. So great to see Cam do well. Let's see. Rizzy is 3-2 as a head coach now. Obviously, it took him 4 games to get more wins than DA got in 9 games with the same. Well, actually, with not as good a roster, because DA at least had a nice, healthy roster as he started the season. So I'm curious what everybody thinks. Is Rizzy somebody that you would consider a strong candidate to take over the team as head coach next season? Or are you more in line to get somebody that's either a little bit more proven or a little bit more offensively minded than Darren Rizzy, considering what we've seen so far in the first 5 games as a head coach? Again, curious to see what, aside from the rookies, the last 3 games, and the younger guys, curious to see what Rizzy does and how well he performs in the last 3 games. Obviously, I'm never going to say tanking is an option, but you know, if they lose 2 out of 3, if they lose all 3, and we get a higher draft pick, I'm not going to be too upset about it. Let me know what your comments are on yesterday's game and what you expect the rest of the season to be down in the comments. Don't forget to like on the way out. It's free. Do it or don't. Who dat, everybody? We'll see you on the next one.